What's going on, everybody? Alex here, Nickens Lawn and Landscape, and welcome to today's episode where we are going to be walking around and doing an overview as well as getting the buyer's perspective on a brand new Bobcat E20. Now, this machine, I know he's only had it for a week or two. I'm not even sure if he has any hours on it yet, but we're going to take a look around it, see what you get if you're looking into a Bobcat E20. And like I said, we're going to get his perspective on why he went with this specific machine. Now, this is a friend of mine, somewhat of a mentor. I've asked him a lot of questions throughout the years. He's a little bit older than me, so he's been able to give me some helpful feedback and just give me some tips and try to help me out along the way. And he knows I do this YouTube thing and the social media or whatever, so he hit me up and said, hey, I got a brand new E20 over here. If you want to come check it out, feel free to bring the camera. And I said, of course I want to check that out, and I'm sure you guys would not mind seeing this thing and seeing, like I said, what you get if you're looking into an E20. So I want to take this opportunity, bring you guys along with me, and show you this brand new machine. All right, guys, so here it is, 2018 E20. It's an open cab. Do they make enclosed cabs?
Yes, sir. Yeah, they do. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this one's an open cab. The tracks are retractable, and we got a 39-inch grading bucket here. And he's also got an 18-inch, just a regular digging tooth bucket right there. And this one does have the thumb, so we'll go over it now and kind of check out the different features and specs on it and see Mark's perspective on why he went with this unit.
Well, Bobcat E20, brand new.
Bobcat E20,
yeah,
brand new.
I think I got 15 hours on it.
There you go.
Little small, but I thought this was going to be the way to go. So we'll have to see. There's a lot of big machines out there, so yeah. I thought I'd go small.
Like
I'm going to run this machine with my ditch witch stand-on skid steer. I can get them both on the same trailer. And
that's a huge advantage, being able to do that, because there's so many times where we go through that contemplation. What should we bring? Should we bring the Mini? Should we bring the Skid? It's usually not worth it to bring two trailers, so being able to have both of them is going to be a big advantage.
not too bad, really.
No, we still got plenty of room.
Yeah. I mean, I was ready to go out and buy a new trailer.
Yeah.
But I thought, you know, hey.
What is this, 20?
20 foot.
20 foot. So 16 flat with the 4 flat with the 16.
Yeah, and we show up with a Swiss Army knife. Is what I call it, right?
100%.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough to beat right there.
The Swiss Army knife, right?
Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
He's got to have 2 gurus to load them.
Right, and I'm, you know, if somebody's got a better idea. I know you can load that machine without ramps, but
the excavator?
Yeah, there's guys that do it, you know.
Not me.
Yeah, I'm not going to pay one of my guys to do it and tear something up.
Right.
But that's a nice little punch on there.
That's a good rig right there.
It's pretty good.
6.0, right? Chevy?
Yeah.
With a Napai?
Yeah, yeah.
Napai bed, fold down sides.
And you know, when you go with
Swiss
these,
Army knife.
When you go with these little machines, you got to keep them sides kind of low to get over the side.
Yeah, yeah, you do.
On my other truck here, we're not dumping over the side.
Yeah, he's got this one here, but you're not going in.
So we'll take sides off if we're loading in there.
Yeah.
Right now we're putting leaves in there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys shoot into?
Yeah.
Leaf
We got to hang it on the back. And
it's a hell of a punch right there.
I kind of. That was my plan. Tight spaces.
Yep.
I thought about, for fun, just change the name of my company to Tight Spaces.
Yeah.
So I got 2 little machines and I can get in the tight spaces.
Tight spaces landscaping.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not real excavator guy. I've rented them.
Right.
So I thought it's time to buy one.
Yeah.
We were probably renting one at least once a month. And, you know, the headache of having to go in and get it.
Oh, yeah.
Fuel it up, bring it back,
That's
clean
the worst
it.
part about the rental. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
we hate that. There's so much downtime and going to pick it up. Then you got to schedule, make sure you're done in time, rush it back there, make sure it's
And if you're not
fueled up.
working by the rental place and you got an hour to get it back, it's a long way to.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not fun at all.
So
So what are all the different options on this? I mean, what did you? What
well,
options?
I don't want to say it's a bare bones machine, but there's not a lot. I mean, the thumb is an option.
Right.
Obviously, there's a lot of choices in buckets.
Right. And I saw this here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it says long arm here. So is that a different?
I think there is a shorter reach machine. This
Okay.
is a longer one.
Okay.
Like I say, the thumb, a lot of different buckets. It is plumbed for hydraulics. Quick attach up
And
here.
the thumb is plugged into those, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you were gonna run an auger or a breaker,
Right.
you know, you're ready to go right there. Take the bucket off, lift the bucket.
And they make the auger. Auger obviously isn't very hard, but the breakers, it would probably have to be different size breaker. They make smaller and larger.
I'm telling you, I rent the same breaker that you put on a big machine. I run it on my mini skid.
Really?
So I'm believing the flow's there.
Right.
Breaker's not a high demand flow
Right.
as much as some other attachments.
Yep.
Now you obviously don't have the weight
Push
with a
down.
smaller machine, but
For sure.
I'm not buying it to break concrete.
Oh no.
But possibly to run an auger.
Well,
or
yeah,
something
for
like
anybody
that.
watching, the options that are out there.
Oh yeah, and it just,
Auger.
if you look online, but you know, you were saying why maybe Bobcat or whatever, and I've heard you say in other videos, there's a lot of mini excavators,
Oh yeah.
but I probably bought it because of the dealer.
Yep.
It's close, and you know, I got problems, I can take it right there. We're not probably, what, 20 minutes away?
Yeah, 20 minutes away.
And I mean, they're pretty good people. I own a lot of other equipment. This is the only thing I own that's Bobcat.
Right.
So we'll have to see how that goes. But
And what you got the ditch witch, and then you got.
I got a John Deere skid
John
steer,
Deere.
and I got a John Deere tractor, and Deere's always been good. I used to finance some things through Deere.
Yeah. Who
Uh,
is your deer dealer?
Herb.
Okay.
Yeah, so going through Herb.
Yeah. So that's close by too.
Yeah.
But Bobcat. I mean, anybody that lives
So
around here.
I mean, I like a cat machine.
Yeah.
Cat has some really neat features that I've looked at and thought, wow, but you know, going to Cat over in Fenton from where we live is a pretty good haul.
A guy just commented on our last video and said, "Why not Caterpillar?" And I said, we're not close. A Caterpillar dealer is
and
not.
our Caterpillar dealer is a huge Caterpillar dealer.
Right.
Probably covering what, 4 states.
Yep.
And me coming over buying a $30,000 mini excavator is peanuts to
It's
them.
nothing to them.
It's
right.
nothing. They could take it or leave that.
Yep. Yep.
So-
and our Bobcat dealer is a small. I mean, there's another one 30 minutes away in Valley Park. There's one in the closest north is probably what, Springfield, but that's only an hour.
Yeah, and then you go to
20
Marion.
minutes, and then another hour and 20 minutes over there. So our Bobcat dealer doesn't cover that big of an area. I mean, they cover a decent area, but they're very, very focused on their area, so to say. So like, we're not a big deal to them, but they care about us, and they're going to make sure that we're happy and we're satisfied.
I like to be courted.
Yep.
You know, I want somebody to kind of
Well, right.
love
I
on
mean,
me a little
that's,
bit.
you spend all this
Yeah.
money. I mean, you need to be taken care of. You need to know that you're taken care of at the end of the day.
If the salesman's watching, he needs to call me and ask me how it's going. Because I really,
Chad?
yeah, you
Chad, call Mark.
buy a piece of equipment. You know, I've taken it to the dance. We're going somewhere, but now the night after, he may not. You know, if he doesn't call me for 6 months and say how's the machine, he's not a good salesman.
There you go.
I mean, seriously.
There you go.
That's follow up.
Yep.
Even in our business, you know, hey, is the customer satisfied?
Right. Call them and make sure everything's going well and they're happy with your service. When a new client signs up, we call them.
Yeah.
I mean, you
so
have to.
I don't want to say there isn't a lot of option here, but it has
But you
features
got-
that are built in.
Yeah, it's got the features.
Yeah.
And one thing I noticed, guys, first thing, like I said, the tracks do contract. So we can kind of go over how that works. A lot of
We
people
can do
probably
it.
aren't familiar with that. Yeah, we'll show you how that works. But basically, you lift the machine off the ground and the tracks will actually suck in and become skinny. So it's almost like a whole track width is outside the machine, basically.
Here, bring it in for you one more time. Oh, set it down.
Yep. Yeah, now it's just as wide as the metal, basically.
Yeah.
And the bucket. This front blade right here has some handles.
It actually comes out and then you bring it all the way around. Yeah.
Okay, and then put it in here
Yep.
like this.
let you do that.
I'll try to figure it out. Oh,
There you go.
Okay. So yeah, so whenever you would suck the tracks in, this front blade actually becomes a lot narrower by taking this piece out right here. That's 6 inches, 8 inches, 6 inches. And then this piece just goes on the inside and gets stored, and if you need it back out, it's a 1-pin system.
It's a pretty simple system, I'd say.
It's about as simple as it gets.
Yeah, there's not a lot of...
And with this size machine, you're not going to be pushing gigantic piles. You're going to be, you know, you'll push to do some grading here and there probably, or to backfill something, but you're not going to be probably messing with those all that often.
And I'm not sure how often, you know, you're going to retract
Right.
it in and out.
Getting inside a fence, I mean,
and then you're probably going to bring it back out for stability.
yeah, you want your stance as wide as possible at all times, but if you have to get in somewhere, that's going to be your time to be sucking it in. But what is the width whenever it's sucked in all the way?
I want to say 39 inches.
39, yeah.
And I got a 39-inch bucket.
Yeah.
And then I think coming out is 54, maybe 52.
Okay.
All the way, we got tape and could measure it. But,
Yeah.
you know, there's, like I say, I've run backhoes and I've rented it many, many times. There's some things on there, like the boom, you know, you could swing it over here at a straight 90
Yeah.
and dig offset like that.
Yeah.
Pretty neat. It's not something I've done a lot, but if you do it, it takes a lot of practice.
Yeah.
To dig
and like
over
you
here.
said, the project you're talking about
Right.
going up against the house, you're going to have to do that.
Yep. Now coming this way, I think it's
It
about.
doesn't go all the way.
Yeah,
right?
maybe 60 degrees right in there.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite get the whole thing.
And it is zero tail swing.
Zero
which
tail
is
swing.
A big benefit in certain situations. And if you have employees running it, it's definitely a big benefit.
Yeah. Kubota diesel engine.
Yeah. Solid.
Which
proven.
Is, yeah, which I think when you go up in a little bigger machine, you're going to go with the Doosan.
Yep. Well, the machine I just bought is a Bobcat engine.
Well, it's a Doosan engine actually, made in Korea.
So, but it's not.
Yeah.
But
Well,
they call
Doosan
it
owns Bobcat now.
Okay. So
Yeah.
okay, there you go.
So it's their engine.
Jerry didn't tell me this.
Yeah, Doosan owns all of
Okay.
Bobcat. Yeah. Probably on the
Okay.
sticker down there, it might say.
That makes sense.
Bobcat sold out to the Koreans.
When was this?
I probably within the last year or so.
Okay, so it's fresh.
Yeah. So they're making their own engines.
Yep. Well, because
And that way.
he called it a Bobcat engine.
Yeah.
But it's
yeah.
a Doosan.
No, it's a Doosan.
Okay.
This engine is a Kubota engine. Doesn't make a difference one way or the other for me. I like Kubota engines. I think it's 13, maybe 14 horsepower,
Yeah.
not a big engine.
Right.
No regen. I like that. That's
Yep.
just me. It's less headaches.
Less things.
My mini skid, I stayed under that horsepower also. No regen there, no computer.
Yep.
Maybe I'm old school, but
Yeah. What is that? 25? Is that
that's
the limit?
25 on that, yeah.
And that's the limit where it has to.
Right.
26 is when it starts,
Yep.
right? Yeah. Because the MT85 is a 25 horse too. Same.
I have Kubota zero-turn mowers, diesel,
Yeah.
same engine, you know, it's
25.
basically the same, almost same, yeah,
Yeah.
same configuration.
Yep, and that's definitely something that needs to be considered. I mean, there's a lot less to go wrong. For those of you guys that don't know what he's talking about, like he said, there's no computer. So when you step up to 26 horsepower, a lot more is involved. You got a lot more wiring, and you have more that can go wrong, really. in the
Well,
long
you,
run.
you have a regenerated exhaust system, so any of the fumes and carbons that are in the exhaust, the computer is going to tell it, just like on the newer diesel trucks, hey,
Yep.
you need to burn all that out now.
Push it back through.
Yeah, so it's going to heat up, which is almost like a big toaster oven. It's going to heat that exhaust up. You're going to burn all that out as you run the machine, and then it cools back down, and it's out of the gen cycle, they call it.
Okay.
So it'll go through that at different times.
Variously
And,
while
yeah,
you're
you
running.
might be working in it, and you're going to see that it's going to go into, have to regenerate.
Okay.
Yeah, to clean up the exhaust.
Okay.
To me, well, all you guys are buying these diesel trucks, you're taking all that off of there.
Yeah, basically. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what a lot of people
Yeah,
do.
yeah, I mean,
and you can't really do that with the skid steers.
Yeah, I guess you can. And then there's no DEF fluid.
Right.
So you know, when you move up to that bigger horsepower, you're going to have DEF. I don't know if you do skids, you got DEF.
No, he told me DEF was the new regulations is 75 horsepower.
Okay, there you go.
And that's why they just came out, they just released a new Bobcat T740, which is the same size frame, all the features
meet
as
that-
a 770, but it's a 74 horsepower engine. It's the same one that's in my T595 to be under that fluid,
Yeah.
so you don't have to deal with all that. You can still have the wide frame, run all the attachments, high flow, everything, but you don't have to have the DEF fluid.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's definitely something that is, everyone's trying to get around it, not just Mark, not just me on my trucks. Bobcat's getting around it in their own machines. So it's something that is
I know
an issue.
it's a cliche. I'm really in the KISS method.
Yeah.
Keep
Yes.
it simple, stupid.
Yes, 100%.
And
Most definitely.
unfortunately, when you have people working for you, we're out of DEF fluid, you know, or.
Yeah, right, well, whatever. I mean, it's just one less thing that they can call you on, really.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, it's not a bare bones, because you do have a few amenities, but it's not, you know, it doesn't have the enclosed cab and every single bell and whistle, and every single bell and whistle comes with a sensor, a switch, more wires, a fuse. I mean, every you know, once you start adding stuff, you start adding a lot of wiring, you start adding a lot of possible or probable issues, I guess, down the road.
Well, and most of options that we would look at on this machine, cabinet, they're mainly comfort features.
Right.
They're all going to dig the same.
Yep, exactly.
Your speed and so forth on a machine like this, option or not, they're all going to dig the same.
Yep.
Same speed.
There's no, yeah.
I've rented this, had a really good operator on it, had a union operator on it for a long time. A lot of ground, we were putting in some drain lines. He liked the machine, but he said it's a little slow compared to a bigger machine. You're cycling, getting dirt out of the trench and getting it over and back. Now granted, I had him digging 4 feet.
Right.
Probably was too small a machine to dig that deep, but we had to get around some grade, and that's where we were till we could daylight out.
Yeah.
And so it's a little slow, but hey, if I have to, I rent a bigger machine.
Right.
But we've got, you know, or it takes a little longer.
Right, and it's still, you know, this is still going to dig a 4-foot trench just like an E35, just like a E55, 85, whatever, gigantic machine. It's still going to dig a 4-foot trench.
Right.
May take a little bit longer, but it's still going to do it.
Correct.
And, you know, you want it to be quicker? Well, you get a bigger machine, you pay more money, and then you lose the option of getting into smaller spaces.
Right, and you put less iron on the lawn.
Yep.
It's lighter.
Yep.
I'm a little more comfortable with different operators, you know, the guys you got working for you, than in a big machine.
Well, with it
and you got to haul it.
Yep.
The bigger you go, the more you got to haul.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're moving into, you know, you're getting some weight.
And that's a good point too, because I mean, here in Illinois, if your trailer is rated at over 10,000 pounds, you got to have a CDL.
And you're inspecting them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you got to do all that good stuff. And this you can haul around with what, 2 3,500 pound axles?
Well, I'm hauling on a 14,000 GVW trailer.
But you could.
Yes.
What does it weigh? Do you know? You remember?
Oh, it's like 4,800 pounds.
Yeah, so you could haul it on a 7,000 pound trailer.
So I haul this and my mini skid, which is right at 3,500 pounds.
On your.
Yeah, so I'm 7,500 pounds roughly with both machines on
a 14,000 pound trailer. Not even coming close to overdoing it.
Yep, with a gas motor in a truck.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, 6-liter gas motor.
Yep. Yeah. See, and that's what I'm loving. That's what I'm loving about this is, you know, it's your perspective as well. They get my perspective all the time, but someone else's perspective is definitely a good thing. And you know, gas motors. There's nothing wrong with gas motors.
No.
I love gas motors. I wish I had gas motors still.
I just harassed him and his brother
about diesel trucks. Yeah. This is going to dig just like my 331 will, so there's, I mean, yeah, I got a bigger machine, but is it necessary? Not really, and there's a lot of times, honest to God, where my 331 may be a little bit too big, and I wish I had an E20. I've rented an E20 3 times last year, I think, because my machine was too big. So I have a bigger machine, and I don't necessarily think that I need that all the time. It is nice, but if you're looking at an E20, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong at all. I mean, I think every point you just made was 100% spot on, and I mean, everything makes perfect sense.
Obviously, the big plus is the size.
Yep.
And the fact that the tracks move in and out, because you could bump up to an E26 for a little bit more money, but you're not going to have that ability to move your tracks in and out.
And like this thing, you can get through the standard, I think now standard gate is like
48 inches.
Yeah, 48 inches.
Yeah, sometimes 40 inches
is by code. So this is going to get into any 2018 and beyond backyard, which my machine is not even going to come close to doing.
You're taking fence down.
Yep.
That's what you're doing.
Taking fence down or hiring a fence company to come in and do it, or that right there, the fence company charges $300, say, 150 to come take that section out, 150 to put it back in. And say my bid was $200 more than the other landscaper. Now my bid is $500 more, and I just lost a job because I don't have a small machine.
I will say I've got this big bucket. You know, my buddy, he's an operator, good union operator. You know, what's up with the big bucket? That machine's never going to run that big a bucket. That bucket is a rake.
Right.
And I'm on a job right now. We're re-landscaping about 5 apartment buildings, all full of this Merrimack gravel that we have to take out.
Yep.
I can sit right on the sidewalk and we drag it all out.
Perfect.
and then we scoop it up and put it in the truck.
Scoop it
and
up.
Everybody's looking at me like this is great, because otherwise we'd be pulling it all out with the rakes.
And your guys be wore out by lunchtime.
Oh, and
pissed.
Yeah, and I'm actually getting better where I can drag and fill the scoop up and spin around and put some in the truck.
Maybe spill a little bit that they can come back and get real quick.
But we had to lower a lot of beds, drop them down maybe a foot or two because they're too high.
Yep.
So scrape all that off.
Yep.
You know, it'll pay for itself right there.
Oh yeah, especially with the stuff you do.
Pulling that rake.
Yeah,
and I've seen some good videos, if you guys watch them, where guys are taking maybe a piece of a railroad track.
Oh yeah.
And they'll clamp it in here and then just use it like to grade.
Yep.
Like a big rake on a yard or whatever. A little bit of skill there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To grade good, but
I mean, you know, you definitely got options there. I
Yeah.
mean, and like you said, this is guys that don't know excavators that are watching this video. You cannot take this machine and go just dig a massive hole 39 inches wide with this bucket. It's just my machine.
You'd be frustrated by.
Yeah, my machine is. I mean, I got the same exact bucket of 39 inch for my 331. And it doesn't even like doing that. I mean, I got to sit there and, I mean, I'm lifting the front of the machine off trying to get down in there. If it's real soft, it'll do it. But any kind of dry ground, it does not like to do it. It's just too wide, and without the teeth, it has nothing to bite. So all these smooth buckets or flat bottom buckets, whatever you want to call them, are all meant for pretty much.
Yeah, they actually call it a grading bucket.
Grading bucket.
Yeah, is how Bobcat words that. So.
Okay, so yeah, but that's exactly what they're for. They're not meant for digging.
It's not a digging bucket.
Yeah, right.
No teeth.
Yeah.
And I've played grading rock. There's somebody that has a video. They're building a brick patio online, and man, he just comes in and strips all the sod off.
Yep.
He's got rock over here. He lays all the rock out. And I don't think he moves the machine twice.
Yep.
And he builds this 10 by 15 patio.
Right. And with the skid loader, you're in.
Yeah.
You're in, picking it up, going to the truck. Right. In, picking it up, you're tearing the heck out of the yard.
Yep.
So
that's probably. I don't know if you want to look at the motor in there.
Yeah.
We can open that up, or
yeah. Let's get this over here and see what we got.
We're just chit chatting.
Just chit chatting. That's what it's all about. The guys that are looking at buying one of these machines, they're really going to appreciate this video.
Yeah, sure. Hydro, motor oil, starters here.
Man, it's packed in there.
Yeah, it's tight. It's a small little engine, but
oh yeah.
You know, hey, I started thinking, what's something that wears out a starter? Man, that wouldn't be too hard to do.
No.
Air cleaner.
20 minutes.
And the fuel filter.
Yeah, all your filters are right there.
Filter here.
Bam, bam, right down there.
Yeah. I was trying
antifreeze.
Yeah, and then there's something with this cable, Alex, and I'll have to. I still have the book, and I periodically sit and decide to read it at times.
Okay, it looks like this whole back, this whole thing comes off.
Yeah, it tilts
here.
this. Yeah.
Somehow.
Tilts that back. This actually is all cast steel. I mean, this is where it gets its weight.
Right.
You're not gonna. I mean, it'd take a lot to put a dent in this.
Right.
Now you get around here, you're back to regular sheet metal.
Yeah, but this is solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
To know me, I'm probably a fly by the pants a little bit guy. I'm not a research guy. I'm gonna buy a mini skid steer. Oh, I like this one. I buy it. Right. And then sometimes I have buyer's remorse. Yep. And I live with it. Yep. But that's just that's just me. I always say this. There's what's called a paralysis by analysis. You get that? I don't. Explain it to me. Well, you think so much about what you want to do and what you're going to buy that you don't do anything. Right. You become paralyzed by overanalyzing. All this time researching, and you end up buying what you initially thought you wanted anyway, and now you spent 30 hours researching. You could have spent 30 hours. Well, and I've heard other guys say Bobcat, Cat, New Holland, Takahauchi, they spend millions of dollars in research. They're all turning out a good machine. They're all it's like Ford, Chevy, Dodge. Yeah. They're all decent machines. It's just depends on what you want, and like you said, like I've said so many times, it's dealer. That's what you're buying. Yeah, you're buying a Bobcat E20, but you're buying your Bobcat dealer. Yeah. In Fairview Heights. I mean, that's what you get. So I did stop by the other day and told them that I thought I was low on hydro fluid. And they said, well, it shouldn't be. And I said, well, it is. And then I know, that's why I'm here. Yeah. And they said, well, bring it on up and we'll top it off. And I thought, no, just give me some oil. Right. So I bought a gallon of oil, but I think it's low. Just a little bit. That's just me. Right. Well, who knows? I mean. But if it's leaking, I don't see it anywhere. Right. Yeah, it was sitting right here, right where you're standing. I'm assuming that it's a little. It's not leaking. It was probably just a hair low from the factory. The gauge is here. Oh, that's nice. Convenient. Yeah. Here's something I don't know. You probably know It looks low to me, doesn't it?
Can't see it with the camera, but
It's down there.
yeah, it's low. Oh yeah, that's quite a bit low.
Yeah.
Probably.
So I got a gallon.
Yeah. But there's so much in there. I mean, it being that much lower in the dipstick really isn't gonna.
Before I go to work with it really hard here, we'll top it off. The control pattern to change it. Are you familiar with that?
ISO to standard.
Yeah. And I've ran older backhoes, so I'm kind of a standard guy. And that's
I'm standard too. I can't do ISO.
My buddy, who's an operator, you know, he switches right over to ISO, and he makes fun of me that this is old school. And
a lot of people are ISO. I can't do ISO.
Ultimately, it is what gets it done. You know, if this is how you can operate it the most efficiently.
Well, that's what's nice too. Like that, guys that don't know what this means.
This little valve.
See if it can. There it goes. It's zoomed in. Yeah.
We'll turn.
So that valve right there, and you can turn it. And then the two patterns are right there. So you have standard, and you can pause this video if you want to study this and see what it does. But you have standard, which is A, and then you flip that little switch right there, and it goes to ISO, which is your B right there. And it's just different moves of these toggles will do different things.
And it's actually two actions, and I believe it's in the large arm here.
Yeah.
A lot of it is the same. The curl out there on.
And then the side or the rotating the cab.
But I've hired operators to run different machines, and you could tell a guy that, you know, he'll start digging like, hey, I got to change these controls because I'm not getting anywhere.
Right.
And all of a sudden we get it changed, and it's like he's a new man.
Yep.
He can really go to town. Yep. So it is, people get in a groove of where they're going.
And like we both just said, we're both standard guys. I tried running ISO, can't do it.
I don't know what's in here. Actually, like a little access port.
I'm gonna sit up here.
Yeah.
Turn the key and show what the control panel looks like.
See these little guys?
Oh yeah, your foot pedal, so you can control it.
Are you on or not?
Nope, it's not on.
You know what Cat has on their machine? When you're running, these are here.
Yeah.
But let's say you want to move, you click a button here and you drive it just like a skid steer.
Really?
Yeah, and you click the button back, and you're back digging. Made me want one bad. None of this.
Right.
These are here, but if you got to move real quick, and then you can just.
See, I tried getting used to my feet.
I can't do that. Nah.
I try it, and it's hard. Guys that don't know excavators or guys that aren't familiar with Bobcat, I don't know what all of the brands are, but you've got these two sticks here. You've got left track, right track. You can either do it with your hands like that, or you can stick your feet down here and do it like that. And if you're a hands guy, you can just flip these pedals right back, and that's kind of out of your way, but. That's what you got pretty much with your Bobcat controls as far as your track motion.
There is a front and a back to the machine.
Oh yeah.
You know, you want to travel this way.
Right.
You tend to want to dig over the blade.
Yep.
I've had a lot of guys that work for me say we'd rather have the blade to the back and not dig over the blade to just get a little more clearance.
Yeah.
But technically they want you digging over the blade.
Yeah, but technically, that's the way I generally dig. Now, if you're in a weird spot, you got to do what you got to do.
I think they call it digging over the idlers. Not over the sprockets.
Okay.
Because when you come around the other way and you spin the house, now you're digging over the sprockets. On there.
Yep, that makes sense.
So on big machines.
Man, this thing's nice and clean. I like
a buddy of mine, he runs, 400 machines, but it's the same as a big machine.
12.6 hours.
Yeah, we're wearing it out.
Time to trade it in.
Yeah.
What's this?
I think that's just a...
Where there would be something else? Yeah. That's where your heat or your AC controller would be?
Yeah.
Something like that. It's nice. I like how everything's in one spot.
I think it has a option you can do your hours per job.
Oh, nice.
And you click the I button there, and then you can clear it to 0, and then you can.
And then we can actually start getting what
if
we
you're
deserve.
billing by the hour,
yeah.
then you have the.
Yeah, and then this is.
It's your throttle.
Okay, throttle, and that's your blade.
That's your blade, and then the button on top is your. On top of this blade.
Okay.
Is your 2-speed.
Oh, it does have 2-speed.
Yeah, so you'll click in.
Nice. Very nice.
Back and forth from high to low.
Yep, and then this, is that your thumb?
I think that's the thumb, yep.
Yeah, either this one or this one would be your thumb.
One of these moves the whole boom on the 90. If I'm sitting on there, I'd know.
Okay, yep. Mine has the foot pedal, the older style. Mine's got the pedal right here where my right foot would be. And then it's got a button right here on the front of this. You know what that is? I don't.
I don't either. I know one's a horn. Give it to Kia. This would be the horn on this side.
Left one's the horn.
Yeah.
Right one.
I think that's an option.
Yep.
For something.
Probably.
You'd think I'd know after.
Well,
30,000, but
it may, if this is the auxiliary, it may lock the auxiliary, like if you're doing an auger.
Right.
Lock it in and lock and unlock it, maybe. Something. Who knows?
Play with the.
Here, hold on.
You video?
Yep. So it's in scanner right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so the left one moves side to side.
Bring it all the way down. It collects pretty tight.
That button is how you lock it in if you're running an auger.
I got you. See, I'm glad you came out here.
And I wish I had one of these on mine. So, how far does it go?
Right there. Yeah.
Long cylinder. Way longer than you need it to be. Most of the time, everything like this. Now here's the
Well, and it'll completely close there and hit. So you're pretty tight. If you want to pick up something a little thinner, yeah.
I can see myself digging in one of these. It doesn't really feel, when you're sitting in it, it doesn't feel much smaller than mine.
No, yeah.
Same height, got the same spread as far as your control. Nice and smooth and tight. Make a mess here to ride. The auxiliary light was still on. It still is on. There it goes. You gotta hold it for a second. Okay, there you go. Yep. Sweet.
Take out a $600 mower.
Got a brand new Boss plow right here too.
Yeah.
Have to take
Finally plowed snow with it.
Have to take a look at that sometime. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is all she wrote for the Bobcat E20. We hope this video was able to help you out if you're in the market for an E20 or in the market for an excavator in general. A lot of these principles and features that we're talking about here are universal, and like we said, all of these brands spend millions of dollars in their research and in their engineering, so you can't really go wrong one way or another. But hopefully this video is able to help you out and kind of show you some things to look for if you're new to this kind of thing. And just to help you out, I know that these purchases and these pieces of equipment can be a really big deal, and just kind of something that overwhelms a lot of people, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So hopefully by us making these videos, and that's why I'm going out and doing this, I'm trying to visit every piece of equipment that I can in the next 2 months and put as many of these type of videos out there to try to help people that are in the market, because it is such a big deal and it's such a big expense. You don't want to make the wrong decision, and like Mark said, you don't want to get down the road and have like the buyer's remorse or buyer's regret or whatever you want to call it. You do not want that to happen. So do your research, guys. Watch these videos, and it is going to happen from time to time. It's inevitable. It's eventually going to happen. As much as equipment as we purchase, it's going to happen. But watch these videos, do your homework, try to get as much information as you can before you purchase, and make sure that you get exactly what you and your company needs. All right, that's all we got for this one, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and let us know what you thought, and I'll see you in the next one.